where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about President Trump listing a bunch of different ways that our money has been wasted. I'm talking about taken from you by force by the federales and then set on fire right in front of your face. Why do we need to spend $500 million on an environmental consultant? What are you actually giving a value that's worth that much money in that space? What are you going to say? Pollution is bad. Carbon emission is bad. What are you really going to say in that role? I have no idea, but we have a lot to get through. There's a bunch of these protests that are happening because a lot of your white liberals, and by the way, before I even go any further, let's just jump straight to one of these protests right away. Now, before I play it, what do you notice? I didn't already said it, but what do you notice? Like most of these anti-Elon and anti-Trump protests are 100% white. But I'm told that if I support Trump and Elon, then I'm a white supremacist because only white people support them, which doesn't make any sense. But this also makes no sense. The optics of these people, and you know who be the main ones calling me a white supremacist? White people. I don't really understand. Let go of that guilt. You didn't do it. Your pawpaw and them been dead for a long time. Now, let's go ahead and watch this. Of course, this and everything else will be in the box. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it. Now, I don't know what they're saying. If you guys can translate, I don't really speak white liberalese that much. Okay. If you could translate it, let me know. But this is in Massachusetts. I'm not sure if it's Boston or whatever, but it's somewhere in Massachusetts. Okie dokie. You see the signs with the little rainbow, eat the rich. Yay. Eat the rich. While I'm on my iPhone and my Apple, little iPad, the MacBook, all that good stuff. And it says, stop the fascist coup. Something about change your sex. I don't know what that means. Hormones change your sex. I guess it's a trans flag right there. And then that's the LGBT flag with the black and the brown stripes on it, which I hate. I really, really hate that. If you want to be gay, that's your business. But why you got to involve me? That's not my lifestyle. Live your lifestyle and don't drag me into it. But I digress. All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Now we got another one in D.C. This is a funny chant right here. This is a very funny chant. Listen.
Go for Mexico! 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 Go for Mexico!
Look, the crowd is so white, I can't tell if I'm in D.C., a cornfield in Iowa. What else? What's another Irish pub in Ireland? I don't know where I'm at. But again, the reason why I mention that is because they talk about, oh, if you support Trump, if you support Elon, you're a white supremacist. And how dare you as a black man support them? So I should support y'all. Y'all just as white as the other side. This is a majority white country. I don't understand. It's weird. But I'm pointing that out to show you the hypocrisy and how ridiculous it all sounds. All right. Look, I don't care what color you are. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, the candy stripe. Do you have the right ideas or the wrong ideas? That's all that matters, period. Who's the best? Who has the best ideas, the best plan going forward, the best ability to manage this country and world relations? That's my question. You could be a green space alien from Mars. All right, come on board. Welcome, President, whatever kind of name you have for yourself. I don't speak Martian, so whatever. But anyway, let's hear from Trump and hear from him about all the waste, fraud, and abuse that we have uncovered so far, because we still have a long way to go. We just getting started. Check it out.
Where's the money being spent, right? Let's go into that for just a second. $520 million for a consultant on the environment. It's called Environmental, Social, and Governance. Investments in Africa, and mobilize private sector resources. $520 million. Somebody got $520 million for an environmental, sounds like an environmental study. It's the most, I've always been one that paid a lot of money for my environmental studies, but I paid like $50,000, not $520 million. $520 million.
You know what? And I'm glad we got a businessman in there who understands what things should cost, because what happens is that you pretty much can get a blank check from the government and name your price and they'll pay it, especially when you're on the inside and you're cool with them and things of this nature. It's really just a bunch of corruption. And it is to the point, it's like endemic. It's just part of the culture in DC, unfortunately. But again, as I said before, this is why the DC metro area grows so much, because of all the graft coming from DC and emanating outward. But let's keep moving.
For ESG, $25 million to promote biodiversity, conservation, and promote licit livelihoods by developing socially responsible behavior in the country of Colombia. Well, it's nice, $25 million to go into Colombia for something that nobody ever heard of. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. $40 million.
Sedentary migrants. So what does that really mean? How are they going to get involved? Where's money going to go? Who's getting paid that money? Which one of these NGOs or whatever is going to get all that money from your pocket? Again, this is all taxpayer revenue. So hopefully you enjoy millions upon millions upon billions of dollars going to foreign countries, and that money won't help you at all.
$42 million for Johns Hopkins, great place to research and drive social and behavior change in Uganda. $42 million. What about us? What about social change in our country? $70 million for a center at Purdue to research university-sourced, evidence-based solutions to developmental challenges. I mean, these are massive numbers on things that nobody ever heard about. $10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for circumcisions.
Do we really need to spend that money? I mean, if you like, is that required? Just keep your situation the way it is, rather than relying upon taxpayers to go ahead and chop it for you.
In another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can't we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia. $32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova.
So are we trying to interfere with elections in Moldova? I think I heard something about that. The guy from Cyprus is talking about the Moldova election. So did we spend money to trifle in their election? I hope not. I hope we're not doing regime installation and things of this nature.
And $21 million for voter turnout in India. Well, why are we giving $21 million to India? They got a lot of money. They're one of the highest taxing countries in the world in terms of us. We can hardly get in there because their tariffs are so high. I have a lot of respect for India. I have a lot of respect for the Prime Minister. He just left, as you know, 2 days ago. But we're giving $21 million for voter turnout. It's voter turnout in India. What about, like, voter turnout here? Oh, we've done that, I guess. We did $500 million, didn't we? It's called the lockboxes. $20 million for fiscal federalism in Nepal. Listen to these numbers. This is all fraud. $19 million for biodiversity conservation in Nepal. $1.5 million for voter confidence. We want to give them confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $2.5 million for inclusive democracies in South Africa. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia.
In Asia, just in general, just the whole region?
Asia's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than we do in the schools, aren't they?
They sure
$2
are.
million to develop sustainable recycling models to increase socioeconomic cohesion among marginalized communities in Kosovo and Eskali and in Egypt. We're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. I could, by the way, I could read this all day long. I could go on all day long, and you'll see hundreds of billions of dollars.
So I will link to this video in the box. I was reading about this, and I read that the reporters didn't ask him any questions about all the expenditures. All they want to do is ask the Elon Musk question, because that's what it get them clicks and ratings and views, because they didn't scare everybody to death about Elon. Elon derangement syndrome is the new Trump derangement syndrome. And part of the reason why the media are doing this as I close is because they're able to make money off of the scare. What's he going to do next? What's he not going to do next? I'm seeing my Facebook page, a lot of older people, they're terrified about Elon because of the mainstream media. They're watching TV. They're being told to be afraid, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. And they're going to watch every day to be afraid. It's like watching a horror movie or a horror series to be afraid. But the reality is that it's not a fantasy in their mind. It's reality to them. So that's part of the reason why I'm here, to just dispel all that BS. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Trump, Elon, and everybody who is interested in finding out where our taxpayer money goes. Why are we sending billions upon billions upon billions to foreign countries while we got problems right here? The economy is rough. We're trying to get it back together with Trump and everybody, but it's rough. People are struggling, drugs everywhere, fentanyl everywhere, and it's cheap fentanyl, a lot of which comes from China, coming from the cartels. Those should be our biggest things. The border being gotten under control. We got to get these drugs under control, and we got the economy back on track. Maybe if we invested into ourselves or spent our money more wisely at home, we could combat these issues rather than just letting everybody in the world take our money. And of course, as he said, it's fraud, most likely. A lot of it is just going in big personal pockets, and it won't even be used for the stated purpose in which it was sent off to begin with. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about all this waste, fraud, and abuse that President Trump has uncovered? Is it not waste, fraud, and abuse? Are these legitimate things that we got to spend money on? And if they are legitimate, how will they help the United States of America? Please give me some feedback about that in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm glad that we are getting down to the bottom of it. Shame on those who don't want to see us do this. If anybody says it's wrong for Elon to audit the government and see where we're spending money and how we're spending it and how to reduce the waste, fraud, and abuse, if anyone says that's wrong, they're either just watching too much TV and don't know much of anything, or they are the ones responsible for the grift, or they're benefiting from the grift, or a combination of all the above. That's what I think. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.